If we are not happy with the results in our life, we reverse engineer it. We're not going to fight with what's out here. We're not even going to fight with our actions or our behavior. We're not going to punish ourselves. Then we're not even going to argue with our emotions, because our emotions, again, they're just in effect. We're going to go to the root cause, which is our thoughts, which is the only place something can be changed. What kind of thoughts are going through your mind? Perhaps you haven't even sat down to get quiet to really think. Thinking is one of the hardest, most laborious, painful things to do. Think about the last time you really had to think about something, make a decision, use that reasoning faculty. Thinking takes work. Thinking takes a lot of energy. We want to remain numb. We want to remain mindless. We don't want to be mindful. Therapists, including myself, we all say, practice mindfulness. Let's do mindfulness. Let's do a mindfulness practice. Let's get quiet. Turn within. Let's be mindful. Most of the time, myself included, I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I don't want to be mindful. That's the last thing I want to be. I want to watch something. I want to, scroll here. I want to, create a video. I just want to do anything. Like, I was laughing so hard. So, I'm a therapist and I have a few clients at the moment, and I have to do notes, right? You have to dictate notes after every one of your sessions. I have been so resistant this week. My notes are piling up. And just before this video came on, I said, Carla, just do a couple notes. Don't torture yourself. Don't let all of your notes pile up so you have to do them on the weekend and you're just resentful and you have like a bad attitude. It's just like a weight on, you're just procrastinating. So I was sitting here and I was like, just do 2 notes. And I was like, that's the last thing I want to do. I would rather eat glass than do these notes. And in that moment, I thought, are you going to let your emotions dictate your actions right now? Meaning, your feeling and your emotions of not wanting to do it is going to dictate you not doing it. Or am I going to think a new thought? If you can just do 1 note, can you just do that? Okay, fine, I can do that. So I voice dictate it, and I sat here and I ended up doing 2 notes. And so it's as simple as that, but it's not that easy, right? Even me who studies this work, I have to practice what I preach. It's doing what I know I ultimately want to do, even though I don't feel like doing it. People call that discipline. Whatever. I actually love that word discipline. A lot of people have a negative connotation with the word discipline. They think of it as, punishment, being disciplined. Yeah, being punished. But I look at it as being a disciple of yourself, being a disciple of your goals, being disciplined, giving yourself a command and following it, being a disciplined person, trusting yourself, even when you don't feel like it. Always remember, you're not going to feel like doing the things because it takes you out of your comfort zone. We have very strong programming. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good. What are your results? If we want to change the results, we have to change the habits and the actions. If we want to change the habits and the actions, we have to change the emotions. If we want to change the emotions, we have to change the thoughts. If we want to change the thoughts, we have to change our surroundings. Who are we surrounding ourselves with? I'll ask you before we go into the weekend. Who are you going to hang out with this weekend? What are your plans? Do you like the people you hang out with? I did a great post the other day about, I myself used to drink. I don't anymore, thank God. But no judgment to anybody that does. But if you have to drink to be around certain friends, if you have your drinking friends, if everything you guys do on the weekends are revolve around, drinks, going out, going to restaurants, going to bars, going to brunch, whatever it is. What if for one weekend you didn't drink at all, but you hang around the same people? Would you be able to enjoy it the same way? If the answer is no, perhaps you don't really like these people. Perhaps you don't really like where you're going if you need alcohol or mind-altering substance to make it fun. If it's a part of it, it's like, who would you be without it? Who would you be without it? I like to, use the metaphor of alcohol or any mind-altering substance, anything we need out here, anything we're addicted to. I don't care what it is. If we need that to make the experience heightened, but Carla, you understand, I like to do it. It just makes it more fun. Okay, Take this for an example. If you go to a beautiful restaurant, right? 5-star, Michelin rated restaurant, steakhouse, for example. You look at the table. You do not see every other condiment under the sun, salt and pepper on the table. It doesn't exist. Why? Because the chef seasons it to perfection. It does not need any seasoning. It is a perfect dish as is. You do not need to add anything to it. No salt, no pepper, no A1, no ketchup, no Worcestershire, nothing. It's perfect as is. You do not need to season that puppy up. But that's like our life. I realized that about my life. I needed all of the seasoning. I needed the salt and the pepper and the A1 because the dish itself was shit. The dish itself was ass. It wasn't good. I wasn't happy with the dish, so to speak, I was serving. It was like, is this a Denny's, a cheap 2-for-1 special on the corners of Vegas Boulevard, a cheap steakhouse that I wouldn't dare eat this steak without any condiments because it's gross. Why would I even be in that situation? Why do I need to season it up? Why do I need to spice it up? Isn't it already great? But this is the illusion that society tells us. This moment's amazing. Having a beer or a glass of champagne would make it even better. That's an illusion. Really think about that. If you've ever, I've certainly been there. It's been so painful. The most amazing milestones, some of the most beautiful moments of life, whether it be family holidays, birthdays, events, graduations, when I crossed the finish line at my marathons, anything that we celebrate. Why do we think that having a glass of champagne, not that it's wrong again, but that it's going to enhance it and make it better? Does it? For me, I thought it did. In the moment, it might have even felt like it, but I was not present. I would go out of my body, float right out. I would get out of the present moment. Actually, it would rob the joy of the moment from me. It would make me mindless. I would literally go out of my mind. A part of my mind would shut down. I could not be there. Although again, in the moment, that dopamine hit, all of those, all of those hormones, the dopamine hit, really, all the serotonin, the hit from the alcohol hitting my system would make me think that was, oh my God, it was so amazing. But at the end of the day, I would wake up feeling hungover, feeling anxious, anxiety's real, not remembering, saying things that I would have never said if I was sober, right? And so it really ruined it. The seasoning, the alcohol, the salt and the pepper ruined this beautiful filet. And so I know this is a tangent, but I love to use that as a metaphor. Why do we do the things that we do? I'm not going to allow my programming, my emotions to dictate what I do or don't do. I'm going to think about what I truly desire. What do I really want? What's a bigger picture? And that's going to dictate my thoughts. The ones I choose will dictate how I act and how I behave, not my emotions that are ran by just intrusive thoughts that I'm not aware of. Choose your thoughts wisely. Every single thought is a seed. It is a precious, precious seed. Every thought is a seed. Think of it as an investment. What's your ROI? What's your return on your investment of your thoughts? Thoughts are very powerful. They are pure, electric, energetic, just power. And once they're handed over by repetition, by just surrounding, by osmosis, they fall into that soil of your subconscious, to your emotions. They get under your skin. It begins to program us. And once we feel a certain way about anything, about any thought or idea or goal or vision, when we want or when we don't want, once we have that emotion, that is the magnetizing force. So as Napoleon Hill talks about in his chapter on the brain is your body. It's an electronic switching station. Our mind, the energy, dictates how the brain is programmed. So our brain is it's both a transmitting station, broadcasting station, and a receiving station. Our thoughts are electric. Boom, they get sent out. And then our emotions, the way we feel about those thoughts, magnetize more like to us. We are electromagnetic beings. So what we think we put out and what we feel gets brought back to us. So really, if you can just really get in control of your vibration, your emotional state, you can truly be the leader, the master of your life.